All right, we are back with another edition of the Outlaws Edge. Gmac, Zach, and Yak. What's going on, guys?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I went to bed at like fucking 3:30. You were up late too, though, dude.
Yeah.
I sent you that video.
That's because I fell asleep twice during the race I was watching last night, and then I was up till like 3 in the morning. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't fall asleep. I was cutting video from about 2:00 till midnight, coming up with intros and shit. I mean, that intro we just had was 20 seconds. It was just pictures. But yeah, I didn't go to fucking bed until like 2:30. So I woke up I maybe slept 2 hours. I got up and I saw there's a lot of Yankees news, which I definitely want to talk about first, like the open show, since I'm all in Yankees gear. So we got a bunch to talk about today. So we're going to talk about some Yankees transactions that go on. Then we'll get into some, I don't need to talk about the Week 10 highlights. You can go check out my Facebook and Outlaw Blitz Facebook for the highlight video from last week.
Yeah, like an overview. That was a good video you did there, that overview cut.
It was fun as hell. Like, it was definitely fun. I wanted to do the
funny. It's funny. That's why I said you got to get it on YouTube.
And to be fair, like, I'm the one making the video. So I only highlighted my picks. I made some shitty picks too. So I don't want to make it seem like you guys are a bunch of chuckle fucks, even though I called you chuckle fucks in the thing. I definitely made bad picks, but the best pick, the fucking Commanders, I made. Right?
Yeah.
All right. So that's all I wanted to highlight.
Yo, I rode with you on that though.
I know you did.
That's against it, and then they win by 11.
Yeah.
I mean, that game, we'll talk about that.
Right. The spread was 11 the other way.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So Yankees got some interesting shit going on. So it wasn't last week, but so first of all,
Judge gets named MVP.
Right. He's MVP. But first of all, let's talk about spring training's February 25th. We got 97 days, baby. 97 days till spring training baseball. Opening day, 1:05 start at Yankee Stadium. 3-game series versus San Francisco. 129 days to opening day. So third of the year. We're almost there. I'm a little premature at my hat. So also this year, for the first time since the introduction of interleague play since 97, all 30 teams will play each other at least once during the season. So that's pretty big. What's going to happen is they're going to end up playing less divisional games, like, because you Yankees, you play the Red Sox so many times a year. You play in your division, so they're going to play I think it's like 4 to 8 less games there. Play more interdivisional games in their league, and then they're going to play every team, like a series with every team. So that should be interesting. Not as interesting as it was back then when National League still had the pitcher hit. Now that they have a DH, they're just another team now at this point.
Yeah.
But you get to see different parks and play in different parks. July 4th, all 30 teams are going to be playing. The only time, usually people have days off. It's a 162-game season, but it's over. Opening day is March 30th. It's starting in March this year, and last day is October 1st. So that's 7 months, even though it's the last day of the month and the first day of the month. That's a long-ass season. So you have days off.
Imagine opening in Colorado. It's going to be fucking snowing in like 30 degrees, even New York.
Yeah. So on July 4th, for the 4th of July, America's pastime, all 30 teams will play. And also on the 15th, all 30 clubs will play for Roberto Clemente Day, which the Yankees are playing in Pittsburgh, which Roberto Clemente played for the Pirates, right?
Yep.
So they'll play in Pittsburgh on that day at PNC Park. So should be a good day to watch. So meaningful news. On the 7th, a whole bunch of people opted for free agency, right? Judge, Rizzo, all these people. And this is normal when it comes to front office business kind of stuff. It's all about getting more money for your contract, avoiding arbitration and things like that. So Rizzo elected free agency on the 7th, and on the 15th, he signed a 2-year deal, $34 million. So basically $17 million a year, with an option to buy out on the third year for $6 million. So he's guaranteed $40 million, but if he plays that third year, $51 million, right? So I think that's fucking great news. Rizzo was one of my favorite players this season as I got back into baseball and was watching pretty religiously. I watched really from opening day to All-Star break, and then when they started losing, I got pissed off and didn't pick back up until playoffs. But Rizzo had a phenomenal playoff. I think he's a fantastic first baseman for the next 3 years. I like it. Here's one that kind of sucks.
Well, hold on. Just to add to that for a second, the banning of the shift will help him.
Oh, absolutely.
Tremendously.
He's going to go from hitting 220. He should be hitting closer to 260, 270 now. And he's probably, if not the best, one of the best defensive first basemen in the entire league.
Yeah.
And that dude picks everything.
Yep.
He's like a little kid picking boogers and wiping on the back of their dad's seat while you're driving to McDonald's. Yankees re-signed IKF, $6 million. So what does that mean? Like, I kind of had high hopes for the farm system to come up with Peraza, Volpe getting a chance to play, which they still could play, but it'll probably be like second base because there's talks of potential trades for Gleyber Torres, specifically the Mariners. He's interested in the Mariners, and they're interested in him. And I think we could pick up some relief pitching, which we desperately need. And if we got to lose Gleyber, I would have rather lost IKF. I like Gleyber Torres, but he signed for $6 million. They avoided arbitration. The infield looks iffy right now. So if he's going to play short, he's going to take up a lineup spot, which is probably going to be like 8th or 9th. But if you're playing those young guys, they'll probably be 9th, whether it's Peraza or Volpe. But then you got Cashman and Boone sucking fucking Donaldson's dick, so he'll play third base. But you also have LeMahieu in the picture, right? So where's LeMahieu going to play if he's healthy? So what, like, ideal world? I'll get into my ideal lineup after, like, I talk about these because I have an ideal lineup, but it ain't gonna happen because I'm not the fucking coach, and I shouldn't be. I'm a fucking loser. But yeah, Donaldson sucks fucking ass, man. I third base, he's just a sack of shit waiting for his next strikeout. Him and IKF are kind of like the biggest. You're gonna make mistakes, right? You're gonna make mistakes when it comes to personnel and trades and stuff like that. I think those are two horrible pickups, but I would really love to see IKF, Donaldson, and Hicks gone. Like those three gone.
Definitely Hicks. I can't stand Hicks.
And then
be caught for the dead weight he is.
Yeah, and when I get to my lineup, my ideal lineup, I'll talk more about Hicks and why fucking he should go. But Aaron Judge won the AL MVP, right? So that's not good for the Yankees because that's going to be even more money that he's potentially worth. So Aaron Judge stats: played 157 games this year, 570 at bats, 133 runs, 177 hits. That's good, right? 62 home runs, AL MLB record? Question mark. It's the MLB record, right? Because they wiped out.
No.
Didn't they wipe out McGuire and Bonds?
No.
For PED use?
Nope.
They should.
They should. They haven't.
Okay. Because even Judge says, no, Bonds has it, 73.
Yeah.
And I agree that, like, they should. But, either way, he's the AL record holder. He surpassed Roger Maris with the 62 home runs. That's also very good, I think, for his batting average and his RBIs and hits, because that'll allow him, if he's got that monkey off his back of hitting the 62 home runs, he don't need to lead off and bat second no more to get more at bats. Like, he can be the 3-hitter that he should be, right? He's the best hitter the Yankees have. Postseason excluded, I'm talking.
Yeah.
Right? So, but, when you talk about like performance enhancing drugs, steroids, human growth hormone, it's kind of like
that
marred.
Fucker can't take it. He's 6'7".
Yeah, it's kind of marred the history of McGuire, Sosa. Even though Sosa, he still beat Maris' record that year. He got 66, right? In 1998. But McGuire hit 70, and then Bonds in 2001 hit 73. But the same shit happened, and there's a movie about it. Billy Crystal did that movie 61 with the Mantle Maris race where they wanted to put, they called it the Frick ruling. I think he was a commissioner of baseball at the time, wanted to put an asterisk for anything after 154 games because Maris was going to have 8 extra games in the season than Ruth had. And it's like, I think, do you ever watch Tosh Pino, or are you familiar with Daniel Tosh as a comedian?
Yeah. Yep.
So he has this really funny bit. And I think it's so true. So performance-enhancing drugs, you as a professional athlete, you are an idol to children. You shouldn't be like, I'm going to go get roided up Roger Clemens and get jacked and swole. But when it comes to playing 162 games of the season, the long time, the stuff you put your body through, testosterone replacement, human growth hormone are actually really like decent for repairing tissue and like making your body repair faster. When you have somebody who's making $40 million a year, you want to get them back on the field as soon as possible. Where is the difference of a doctor being like, you have this shoulder injury, this knee injury, whatever, we're going to give you some human growth hormone like Andy Pettit to heal you up? Where's the difference between that and all these backroom, back alley abortion, the locker room things where people are going in the back and getting cortisone shots, where that is not beneficial at all? That just gets you better for that game, and it potentially sustains a career-ending injury just to play the rest of the quarter or the half. Like, performance-enhancing drugs really need to be relooked at as we evolve rules and go on, because Daniel Tosh says, if you want to wipe out all these guys' records and put an asterisk next to it, why don't you do the same thing for Babe Ruth? Babe Ruth played in 1927. He never had to hit against a black pitcher or play against a black person for 20 years before Jackie Robinson
play a night game.
Or play a night game or have to travel, because that was the thing in 61 where Maris was like, yeah, we have to travel, play night games, go across the country. He didn't have to do that. So if you're going to make the record books have all these little caveats to them, where does it end at that point? Like, a record's a record. You can pump your ass full of horse tranquilizer, steroids, and go out there, and it doesn't make you able to hit a baseball. You have a 0.1 to a 0.18 reaction time to see the pitcher throw the ball and decide to hit. Will it add a few extra yards or feet to your home run? Probably, but it ain't going to make you make contact. No fucking way. So, I don't know. Back to Judge, though, there is a deal on the table. They don't have it disclosed, but it's definitely more than the $213.5 million that they had offered for the 7 years before. It's got to be, because he's interested in it. But also the Dodgers are interested in him, and they have a whole bunch of cap space they freed up because they're losing a lot of people. Bellinger, they're losing $17 million a year. Who else was it? The Dodgers are looking to get him, but I think the Yankees really want him, and throwing captain in there probably will sweeten the deal. And I think he'd probably want it too. It's been a while since, Jeter retired in 2014. So was that 2023 will be 9 years since a captain. So I'm cool with that.
Yeah, the projected contract was over for $330 million. I didn't see the length. That was the rumored amount. So that's a big number to be throwing at, 31-year-old outfielder.
Yeah. So
I imagine that's probably about 7 years.
I would hope it's not anything more than that.
I'm telling you, I would go 5 years. I know they always want the here. This was the discussion I had yesterday. They always want the length. If I paid you 5 years, $40 million a year, $200 million, right? Even if I went to $50 million, $250 million, you're never going to spend that money in a lifetime. Your kids, grandkids are going to be set.
Yeah.
So it can't be the money end of it. Like, what if you don't want to play when you're 38, that your body's all banged up between now and then?
And how many 38-year-olds plus have actually produced to their contract?
Right.
Very few. So those long-term deals, when you're signing at 30, they never work.
Right. Right, and he's going to be 31 by the time the season starts.
Yeah. So
he didn't make the majors until he was 26.
Right.
He made it to 23. We were having a different conversation.
Right. Now, here's the other thing. How many Yankee contracts over the years did we get, did they get stuck with because they went 7 years? Like Teixeira. Teixeira at the end of his career he was junk. A-Rod. Like, you got these long-term deals where these guys, they hit 35 or 36, and then it's just straight plummet, and you're still holding on to them for 2 more years.
Yeah, I mean, even Jeter had a rough end. Like 2013, he only played 2 weeks or whatever because he broke his ankle, right? And then 2014, they didn't go to the postseason. He still had an okay year. It wasn't like he was completely trash, but the last 2 years of his contract weren't up to what it was when he signed. So, I mean, those long-term deals when you get kind of advanced in age are difficult. I think it depends on the position you play and how much you play in the field. Like, eventually, could he come out of the field and be a DH and just hit and then save his body towards the end? Yeah, but then is that one designated hitter worth $45 million a year.
Yeah.
You got to produce. So you got to, I mean, if you're going to be like, I can't do this anymore because I'm fucking Jolly Green Giant with big horse teeth, I'm going to start calling him Mr. Ed. He's got these big white chiclets. Like whoever his dentist is getting a 10% of that fucking sign-on bonus or whatever it is.
Have you guys seen the thing with him and Jimmy Fallon this week?
No, not yet.
I posted it.
I saw him and Kimmel. Was it Kimmel or Fallon, or did you both?
No.
Was he just making the circuit?
Him and Jimmy Fallon, he acted like he dressed in umpire gear down in New York City, and Jimmy Fallon would like dressed in Yankee catcher's gear. And then kids and people would come in and get like their picture taken, and he'd go like ball or strike, and they'd get in an argument, and they'd take their masks off, and then they're like, "Oh my God, that's Aaron Judge" or whatever. But there's two brothers, standing in the box. They're probably like 8, 9, something like that. And when he takes the mask off, the one brother's like, couldn't even talk. He just pointed at him, and the other brother turns around. But it's really cool. You know what I mean? It's cool.
So that's it as far as deals and moves and stuff. I just want to talk about like a potential lineup. I don't know where the pitchers stand right now, like where they're at with those. But do you know anything about Sanchez? Did they trade him? I was looking up something saying the worst case scenario for 2023.
2 years ago.
He's gone.
Gary Sanchez, the catcher?
Yes, the catcher. He's gone.
Been gone for a couple of years.
He got traded last year to the Twins in the Donaldson deal.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah. Well, fuck it. I mean, they could have traded him
Sanchez
for a pack of what's Fruit Stripes gum. I'd rather have the flavor last for 5 seconds than either of those. So let's talk about like potential lineup and position. So I like Trevino, Platinum Glove winner behind the plate, right? Unless you have somebody who wants to throw to Higashioka, having the second catcher to give you time off and stuff. It's a rough position on your body. I know. So Trevino behind the plate, Rizzo at first. Peraza played. Volpe hasn't come up yet, right? He hasn't played any big league games. So Peraza had some games this year. So I don't know how good he'd be moving over to second. And if not, you still have LeMahieu, right? IKF, they're going to put it short, which move his ass to second.
Was it Oswaldo Cabrera? Isn't he the shortstop?
Yes. Yep. Cabrera, he also played left field, though, in the postseason. Get fucking Hicks out of there and put him in left. So infield, I got Trevino behind the dish, Rizzo at first, Peraza, Volpe, LeMahieu, whoever you want at second. IKF at short, just because they paid him $6 million and they're going to have to use him. Hopefully he gets injured and has to come out. And then Volpe comes in and has like a repeat of Jeter, because Jeter wasn't going to play in 96. Broke his wrist, played a second, like in the spring training. Yeah. I can't remember his name. So IKF, hopefully he has a career-ending injury. And then you got you got Donaldson at third. I mean, LeMahieu I like him better at third. He's a utility player. He's a Gold Glove utility player. He can play anywhere in the infield. So I'd rather have him than Donaldson. I'd rather have a dumpster on fire than Donaldson at third base. At least it would sound cool in the ball ricochet.
I wouldn't mind Donaldson as a DH.
Donaldson actually is better suited in the field. He's a Gold Glove defensive third baseman, but you can't have him in the lineup. He can't hit the ball.
Hey, well, we can finish your lineup, Zach, and then we'll discuss that.
So right field, Aaron Judge, if they get the deal done. Center field, Harrison Bader. Left field,
I like that.
Oswaldo Cabrera.
I like Bader and center the best. Well, going back to that. So in Major League Baseball, if you ever win 15 games or hit 30-plus home runs, you have a career forever. Because everybody else tries to catch that lightning in a bottle again. You could get completely fluke lucky and play everybody after a travel day as a pitcher and be garbage, but get 15. I mean, obviously they're not garbage, they're pros, but get 15 wins. You get 15 wins once in your career. Everybody tries to pick you up and make you back to what you were. Everybody. And the same thing with 30 home runs. You have 30 home runs one time. Oh, that guy could give us production.
Yeah.
No matter how bad they are.
Speaking of 15 wins, I think one of the big things I've seen floated around, not in the front office, not anything coming out from MLB.com or anything, just people talking, Verlander should not be picked up by the Yankees. Like, he's going to be 40, right?
No, he should be. He just won the Cy Young coming off Tommy John.
No, but how old is he?
Well, for what, a year? With a second-year option, maybe?
Give him a 2-year deal. Why not? He had under a 2 ERA the entire year.
This is the thing about Verlander versus Cole. Verlander's a fucking ace, a true ace. Cole
just not in the World
gets
Series.
Absolutely fucking shelled every third start.
Well, Cole did fine in the playoffs. He was one of the only.
No, I know. I'm
pitchers.
just saying though, like he gets shelled.
Oh,
he gives up a home run every game, right?
The league leader in home runs given up.
Yeah,
he gave up over 30 home runs. That's not something that an ace is supposed to do. Give Verlander this one spot. Let Cole pitch from the 2. You can't count on Severino to stay healthy for an entire season. They don't have Tyone anymore, who wasn't great, but he was okay. And who are they going to put in their 5th spot? Domingo Germán for the 9th time?
Yeah.
Is Nestor coming back?
Oh, Nestor, too.
Nestor's the 3.
Yeah, Nestor would be the 3.
But that's the thing. The Yankees really have 2s and 3s. They don't have a true ace.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Cole's a 2. He's not a 1. I know people like to think he's a 1, but 1s don't get shelled like that.
Yeah.
It happens every once in a while, but
not as consistent as that
like
guy.
Cole.
I don't think that's the thing. So my reluctancy with Verlander is just his age, not his numbers. Just to be that old and to play that position, his arm strength cannot continue. It just, your body starts to break down. Your eyes, it's called presbyopia. Your eyes start to lose focus. And you need readers. He's going to be out there with fucking readers on trying to see the catching thing. So
no, you don't have to. They just tell you now.
Yeah, Nolan Ryan did it until he was 45. Why can't Verlander?
Well, here let's talk
not
about.
Not everyone is Nolan Ryan.
But here's the thing. Let's talk about a true factor here that a lot of people don't factor in, and it's real. Some people can't play in New York. You have to, like David Wells. You knew that was a good signing because he fucking was lights out for the Orioles every time he came to Yankee Stadium. You got to get somebody like that. I'd rather see them go after somebody that just gives them absolute hell every time he pitches in Yankee Stadium. Because it is different. Look at Randy Johnson was one of the biggest flops. Couldn't pitch there. Javier Vazquez. Fucking Cy Young guy everywhere else. Comes to fucking New York is absolutely terrible. He was great in Montreal. They trade him Arizona. He's great. Bring him back to New York again. He's terrible again. They ship him back out. Like, you need people that can handle the pressure of New York.
Yeah, I think Verlander can, though. Like, when he played for the Tigers and the Astros, and when he played for the Tigers and they won the World Series and stuff, like, they played New York a bunch, and he was pretty dominant then. And he's been pretty dominant for the Astros. Bernie said it, like, they did an interview with Bernie Williams in the Derek Jeter, the Captain documentary, where, you know, they talk about the Yankees pushing old people. They don't like to keep older people around. And when you have a bad season and you're older, not saying Verlander had a bad season, they won the World Series and he won the Cy Young. They attribute that to your age and not just the fact that you had a bad season. So I just think it's a Yankees mentality thing that it will not bode well for him. I think the front office will push really back on it. If he gets a deal, it'll probably be a year 2 max. It'd be cool. I mean, they need to make a push. They got to do something. Like these baby bombers that Cashman had come up, like they're getting to their 30s now. Like they're getting into the age where they got to start producing and going deeper. Well, I mean, they went to the ALCS, but they got swept. They got to do something. And I think pitching is the biggest deal right now, especially the bullpen. Like the starters are okay, but the bullpen is terrible. It's terrible.
They don't have anyone in the bullpen anymore. They have Michael King coming back off Tommy John. They have Clay Holmes, who pitched for the Pirates his entire career. They had
you can't use Tommy John because you just said Verlander had Tommy John, didn't you?
I said he's coming back from Tommy John.
Right, but he had Tommy John and he still produced.
Correct. I'm saying King's coming back from it. You don't know how he's going to respond.
True.
And then you have Jonathan Loaisiga, who's solid too, but
I like him.
To overuse every single pitcher he has.
Well, you don't have a true closer either. I'd say they go get Diaz.
Anymore. Diaz already signed with the Mets.
Did he?
Yeah, re-signed with the Mets.
This week?
Last week. And he's getting paid until like 2035.
No.
DeGrom is up for sale, isn't he?
Yeah.
I'd rather have Verlander over DeGrom.
Well, DeGrom doesn't pitch like that. You know what I mean? He misses a lot of starts.
Yeah, because he's always hurt. You're going to pay him $40 million to miss the entire season?
Who is the other guy Thor? Where's he?
Syndergaard, he's in Philadelphia. He could stay there.
Yeah. I don't know, guys. I don't follow baseball like I used to.
They have Carlos Rodon, lefty from the Giants.
I don't really either. I'm starting to, though, because I fucking love baseball. So I'm trying to pay attention to these things where I didn't pay attention to them in the past. It's kind of like evolving my love for the game beyond just like being like watching the catcher and only the catcher. All right. That's it. All I got for the Yankees. Like, I'm not going to talk about the number of the lineup because it really matters who they sign first, and then you'll see who they're pitching.
Chris? Anybody out there that you think the Yankees should make a big play for?
They should make a big play for either Carlos Rodon and or Trey Turner or both of them. If they could somehow ship Donaldson and Hicks, you can keep IKF on the bench and you can insert Trey Turner right into shortstop. And he's a true leadoff hitter, which they haven't had in 10 years.
Yeah. I hate Hicks so much that I would literally, if I was the GM, say, you got like a second base bag or something you could trade? Could you imagine the fucking Aaron Hicks traded to San Francisco for a second base bag?
Yeah.
Just something.
Traded for a pack of big league chew.
Yeah, anything. That dude is fucking awful.
He's lazy. He doesn't try. And he's constantly hurt.
Dude, and not for nothing. Playoff time, how many errors did he make on like a single that ended up turning into a double?
And then 3-run score?
Yeah, and then 3-run score. Because he couldn't feel the fucking ground ball in the outfield.
And to be fair, the whole IKF deal, them settling for the $6 million before going for arbitration, doesn't mean he can't be traded, right? Like he can still.
He can still be traded.
Yeah,
he
so
has 1 year of team control left. That's all.
I just feel like $6 million to sit on the bench is not.
But here's the thing: I don't mind.
They should trade him.
He does shit that other guys don't.
Yeah,
he bunts, he sacrifices, he hits. Like he's speedy.
Yeah. He hit 280. It's
right.
not like he's completely
right. Useless. Yeah, like
he's not a shortstop.
Right.
He's a Gold Glove third baseman. You're playing him at short.
Right.
Why?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So that's all I got on the Yankees. Do you want to talk about the hot take, or is that when we get into the games?
It doesn't. Just start talking about the NFL.
Okay. Well, I just want to talk about one highlight from last week. I was listening to the Blitz on Thursday. Yeah. I guess the Buffalo Bills and the Vikings were going on at the time you were recording it. That catch that Justin Jefferson had is the best catch I've ever witnessed in my life. How did he come down with that fucking ball? Right?
Well, he didn't. Somebody else did. He just took it on the way down.
Right, but the grip
like
strength,
that full extension, you mean?
But the grip strength to hold it and keep it from going to the ground. I think the biggest thing about that play, though, like so it's a phenomenal catch. So phenomenal that his gloves and his arm things are going to be in the Football Hall of Fame. They're going to put him in there just for that.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's 4th and 18. Fucking Cam Davis, why are you not swatting that ball? Why are you trying to intercept it? A change of possession puts you in worse position than if you it's a 32-yard catch. If you swat that ball down, turnover on downs, you're 32 yards up the fucking field. It's a stupid football IQ play. He had both hands on the ball, smack it away.
Yeah.
Just don't try to catch it.
Not for nothing. Jefferson makes that great catch. Kirk Cousins makes that phenomenal throw down to the 2-yard line.
Yeah. Over
somebody and under somebody else. You know what I mean? He goes over the zone guy and under the man coverage. Unbelievable. But then so here's the thing though. Let's be fair about it. So they're 1st and goal at the 2, and then the fucking guard steps on his foot. And now it's 2nd and 8 from second goal from the 8 because he falls straight backwards. Like the Vikings do great shit and then step on themselves. And that's what the Bills do. In the biggest moments, they can't help it.
Why do you run a quarterback
13 seconds left, you let him go 80 yards to kick a field
goal. Why do you QB sneak out of the end zone there?
Why not just shotgun snap it and run out of the back?
He's got legs.
Make them come down and kick a field goal to tie.
But he's got legs. Like what? You turned over? Did they turn over the ball there?
No, he fumbled the snap.
I know, but safety. Was it safety?
No, it was a touchdown. He fumbled. Minnesota dove on it.
Oh, yeah, I can't remember that fucking. They overcame like a 13-point deficit in the 4th quarter. No, 7. Was it 10
when
points?
We turned the game on, it was 27-10.
Yes, 10 points going into the 4th quarter. It was 13. The Vikings scored 13, and the Bills scored 3 in the 4th quarter, making it tie, and they won in overtime.
Yeah.
Like, that game alone really shifted and it doesn't mean anything. The NFL power rankings really fucking rock that. It doesn't mean anything.
It does mean something though, because it moves the AFC Championship from Buffalo to Kansas City, probably.
Yeah, depending on the outcome of the season. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that game should never have made it to overtime. That when the Bills marched back down the field, Gabe Davis did not catch that ball.
No, he didn't.
He didn't.
Not even close.
No.
It hit the ground and he never had possession.
And that's on the NFL.
They admitted that he didn't catch that ball.
Right. And that's so I don't want to get into this because that's where I think pro sports are fixed. I guarantee you they got, like we can watch and see how many people are on and what, where, when, how, right, how they're interacting. The NFL knows what their viewership is. Like they got graphs. I guarantee you that graph was at the peak. And they're like, yo, if he doesn't catch that, it's game over. And our ratings drop. You know what I mean? Like, I firmly believe that. Like, there's parts of the NFL that are fixed.
Oh, without question.
I mean,
how do you not buzz down and take a look at that catch?
Talk about blown calls. Like Gabe Davis did, and Chris and I were talking like during the game. We talked a lot during the games because you never fucking watch them. I always send you messages and you're off gallivanting with the Outlaw Blitz doing your shit. But anyway, and you're doing your podcast. So my live stream is usually with Chris. So we were talking about it and he's like, Gabe Davis didn't catch that ball. I was like, yep, but they didn't call it. So they ran a play. That's the rules. And speaking of missed things and the rules, the Commanders game, that fucking face mask on Dallas Goedert caused a fumble and really shifted the momentum. Would the Commanders still have won? Potentially. But the Eagles were driving. So yeah, it's a toss-up.
Here's the thing when you play. If they call it a ball, it's a ball. It's not a strike. If they call it a fumble, it's a fumble. You know what I mean? Like, that's just part of how it is.
Yeah,
I was listening to the New Heights podcast with the Kelsey brothers, and Jason Kelsey said it himself. He's like, was that a face mask? Yeah, but it wasn't because they didn't call it.
Right.
We lost that game because we turned the ball over 3 times.
Yeah.
Not because of a missed call. He's like, I can't stand when people blame the officials.
The exact quote is, officials ain't going to be perfect. They ain't going to make every call. The reality is you got to go down there and play the game that's called. That was a face mask on Dallas Goedert. No, it wasn't. You know why? Because they didn't fucking throw a flag. So it wasn't a face mask. And it's a loser's mentality to blame it on somebody else. That right there made me really respect him beyond what he's accomplished as a player to take the backs of the refs and be like, no, we lost that. It wasn't just that play. I just think it's fucking crazy, though, like just speaking of penalties, that they'll call roughing the passer if you fart on Tom Brady, but you can almost get your neck broken and cause the GOAT, baby. Cause a turnover of possession, like a turnover, not on downs, but a change of possession, and almost get your neck broken and miss it. Like the penalties are a weird thing.
I don't know. I don't think a face mask causes a fumble.
No, the fumble was happening. But it was at the same time though. I get
it. I'm just saying though, you can't say he got face masked, so he fumbled the ball. It's not a direct cause and effect.
I think the fumble would have happened regardless because he was getting the ball punched out as the face mask was being grabbed. So if the hand was lower and it was an upper body tackle, he's still fumbling that ball. But it's a penalty. That's 100%. A big safety penalty.
No, I get it. I'm not saying that. I'm saying when people go,
I know.
Well, if he didn't get face masked, he would have never fumbled. That's like saying, if you don't get hurt, you don't fumble, right? Because the Michigan running back yesterday gets hurt. He gets hit in the knee, and he fumbles because he immediately fuck that ball, and he grabs his knee.
Yeah.
Now that, is a cause and effect. A face mask shouldn't be, unless he broke his neck, went up and let the ball go.
Oh, shit. I just think, that whole conversation with Jason and Travis Kelce and stuff, I think that mentality doesn't exist everywhere across professional sports. Everybody likes to point fingers. I don't want to say everybody. A lot of people like to point fingers and put the blame on someone else. But, the same thing happened earlier in the season. We touched on it when, somebody missed a field goal. And the media's back in the locker room being like, oh, how'd you lose the game? And one of the linemen stood up and was like, no, the field goal would have just won us the game. The field goal didn't lose us the game. It would have won us the game. But we had 4 other quarters to play. You know, it's not one play. You make it seem like one play is like the end all be all, and it is in the final score, but not in the grand scheme of the game. It's 4 quarters, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, one play can change a football game if you've ever played football. You know that, but
it can change the outcome of the game.
Like they said, you go to kick a field goal at the end of a game. How many other missed opportunities do you have? You know what I mean?
Yeah, a single play.
If the guy didn't drop the ball in the end zone, we would have been trying to kick a field goal or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
you know, it's all leading up to it. Football is a game of inches. Every play matters, and it's all it's a chess game. It's all moves. It's all moves. But the biggest beat from the Washington Eagles game wasn't the final score. It was the bettors. And since we're a betting show, Devontae Smith, that meaningless last-second lateral fumble that resulted in Washington scoring a touchdown. He was at 53 yards receiving. Every place had him as over under 52.5. So many people, not fantasy owners, you lost points, but a lot of people lost money because they counted that as negative yards. He started the play with 53 yards. After the play, he was down to 39. They took that as a negative yardage off of him. But FanDuel, they refunded all that. Other sports books did not, but FanDuel was like, yeah, we're going to refund you your money on that. That's a dumb call, bad beat. And I think that's pretty cool on FanDuel for doing that because a lot of people had the last play of the game.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
If it's a fumble, the catch was forward yardage, right?
Right, yeah.
If it's a fumble and you ladder it back and somebody fumbles it, that shouldn't count towards your receiving yards. No. That's not negative receiving. You weren't tackled back behind the line of scrimmage.
Right.
It should be from where the fumble happened, not in the fucking end zone.
Yeah. No, I agree. All right, so this is a good time to go to my hot take.
Okay.
And I had this conversation and with a buddy of mine from work. So I don't believe that the best football player, not all the best football players from college make it in the NFL. What I think it is I think the best NFL players, I think the NFL is a style of football. And only those people succeed. And what I mean by that is Tom Brady didn't even start in Michigan. He split time, right? He wasn't the best football player in Michigan at that time, right? But he's probably one of the greatest NFL players. Johnny Manziel was a phenomenal college football player, but he doesn't fit the NFL mold. So what I'm saying, like certain positions, right? It's not the best player; it's the best player that fits the NFL's mold. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'd agree.
I don't think it's a hot take. I think it's just facts. It's a system thing. Football is all about systems, not just the NFL, right? It's about what system you go into because the NFL evolves as well. Like when the West Coast offense came out, like running backs were kind of took the back line.
They had to catch the ball out of the backfield.
Yeah, you had to have hands. You had to be able to catch and not just chug away in yards. And now you have quarterbacks, since, the Donovan McNabb, Michael Vick, like these mobile quarterbacks, that's the next evolution.
Right, but here's the rub. That's why I feel that other leagues don't succeed. I think the NFL knows what their best quarterbacks are, like that fit their system. And no matter what, they corral them to practice squads and that. Because, like, the XFL and the USFL, what was the one was it the XFL was having a really good year right when COVID hit?
Yes.
Right. The only thing that lacks in those leagues is quarterback play. If they had really good quarterback play, their popularity would take off, right? I think the NFL corrals that. Because think of Cooper Rush in the XFL. Those teams would be playing really well, right? The NFL ain't going to let them guys go there and then have real competition, right? And USFL back in the day, that's why they were successful. you had Steve Young and Jim Kelly in the old USFL. And they had to figure out a way to go, we got to stomp this out and get these dudes into the NFL so that, we don't lose the league, so to speak.
What's the counterpoint to your argument, though? What is someone saying opposed to that? Because it doesn't seem like a hot take.
Well, a lot of people think that the NFL is the best brand of football there is. And if you watch, I would never fundamentally try to tell a kid to ever watch the NFL because some of the worst tackling is in the NFL. Some of the worst habits are in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? And people are like, they're the best football players on the planet. They're the best football players that fit that style, is what I would say.
They're the best football players money can buy.
Or that fit that style. There's...
Because you don't make money in college, right?
Jadeveon Clowney, probably one of the most overrated players ever.
He was definitely highly touted for one hit.
One play.
One college hit.
Yep. One play. He made a ton of money off of one play. You know what I mean? Where there was better players than him that never made it in the NFL because they weren't streamlined through ESPN or whatever the deal was. I almost think it's like a version of WWE. You get the best people that can,
Yeah, and Clowney was paired with J.J. Watt for years and was held to nothing.
J.J. Watt was getting the double teams, and Clowney really didn't do much. He had maybe one decent year.
It was a decent enough year to get paid and then continued to do nothing. He earned 1-year contract after 1-year contract.
Yep. And then Matt Russell got mad because they said RG3 was super overrated.
He was. I don't think he was good. He was. I don't think he was really good as a Redskins quarterback. I don't think he's good as an analyst either. I fucking hate
What I think happened was Shanahan knew what his abilities were, formed the offense to him, knowing that you got 1 year until everybody kind of figures it out, and then once the blueprint was there and had to figure him out, he just disappeared.
He disappeared because of his injuries.
Well, he had that knee injury. But he had to run the ball. If he didn't run the RPO, he was no good.
He didn't have the frame to be able to sustain an NFL career.
Still doesn't.
No. He's terrible as an analyst, too. He just has hot take after hot take.
Yeah.
All failed NFL quarterbacks become analysts, and they talk about the game. Dan Orlovsky, Matt Hasselbeck, RG3. Why are we listening to them?
Well, there's a great point. Remember all the bullshit that was thrown at Jeff Saturday last week?
Oh,
I didn't throw any bullshit at Jeff Saturday.
He's an NFL head coach right now, but he won that game.
Right, but the point being, somebody said to these guys, "You're so quick, Bill Cowher, to say he shouldn't be a coach, but you're in this seat and you've never done this job. How many people are fucking journalists and in TV and media, and you skipped to the front of the line because you were a coach?"
Bill Cowher's take was absolutely ridiculous. Jeff Saturday, he is an all-pro center for 16 years? It's not like he has zero experience in the game. And why would they give it to their defensive coordinator? They fired every coach on that staff this entire season.
Right.
They don't have a coach on that staff. So, yeah, I guess bringing in Jeff Saturday makes sense. He was with the Colts for 14 years.
Right. All-pro. Won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You could go down the list, right? And Pat McAfee had a great take on it. He's like, he goes, Bill Cowher, shut the fuck up. He goes, Jeff Saturday couldn't coach at 34 years old like you did, being the youngest coach in Steeler history. He goes, because he was still out there being an all-pro center. And what do they call the center? The quarterback of the line. He's got to know all the calls, right? It's like being a catcher. You're seeing the whole field. You got to know, how they're rolling coverages, the fronts, the this. So his intellect is there. Even though maybe he's never coached before, he knows the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus,
it's not like he didn't play with scrub quarterbacks. He played with Peyton Manning and Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
Yeah. And plus, it's center's probably hands down. It's definitely the most difficult line position. Blindside tackle, whatever. But because there's not a ton of defenses that run 3-4 anymore, right? There's hardly ever anybody on nose. So you never have a man-up coverage. So you're always wondering, where you're going to pick up coverage coming in, on top of knowing the snap count, making sure the whole fucking offense doesn't go off sides. Like, it's a lot. It's a very
or getting out on a linebacker.
it's a very cerebral position for a lineman. You got to be a smart fat guy, basically, and you got to be agile. So, but just one quick caveat back to RG3, and then I want to say something about Jeff Saturday, because I fucking told you about Jeff Saturday. It's those eyes, man. It's the fucking eyes. But RG3, I did say he was a shitty analyst, and I still stand by that. But that piece he did with Jalen Hurts and Michael Vick and Donovan McNabb prior to the Washington about black quarterbacks and changing the position, and that was fucking phenomenal. I will say that him leading that was very good. So I think he has a place in the game, but his hot takes are just shitty. But Jeff Saturday, I didn't read this article. I saw it in passing, but I was looking up other shit. Apparently, the Colts are in a little bit of hot water with not the Players Association, with some organization that he got put into there, and not someone who is more qualified already in the organization as a person of color or whatever, because there's always that.
Rule.
Yes.
Yeah, when you hire a coach, you're supposed to go through the Rooney Rule, which you have to interview so many people.
Yes. And so, I mean, fucking...
Well, like he said, he's the interim coach. He may suck the last few months. He's not guaranteed the next job.
Yeah. So I don't know what's going to come of that. Like, and that's all on the Colts organization. It's not any fault of his own. Like, he's still he's still Jeff Saturday. But you got fucking, is it Jim Irsay who owns the Colts? Like, You expect that dude, you expect that guy, the son of the dude who's like, I'm not moving the team, and then fucking moves them in the middle of the night and tells nobody. You expect him to follow rules? Like, come on. He's an alcoholic who just wants to make money.
Rainbow Max says Hasselbeck is not he's been 2 Super Bowls, not a bust.
The only Hasselbeck that's good is a potato. You ever have a Hasselbeck potato? They're fucking delicious.
Or the hot one that was on The View. The blonde one, right? Wasn't that his wife?
I've never watched The View.
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
All right, let's get into the 1:00 games.
Let's go games. All right. So, first game, we got...
First has a big notepad here.
All right. Bears versus Falcons. We're going to take a brief an extended talk about Jets-Patriots, because that's our game of the week, even though it's not like the NFL game of the week. We'll talk more about that since we have a Jets fan on, and it's a big rivalry game. But first one, we got Bears-Falcons. The Bears are coming into Atlanta. I don't know what the current line is. When I saw the last bets, Chicago it's Atlanta -3. So they're giving Atlanta at home a field goal.
Big Winnie says the Bears.
The Bears should win the game, but this game is just, it's not going to be a good game. It's going to be a low-scoring game. The under on it's under 49. I would take that all day.
I think the biggest prop bet would probably be the rushing yards of Fields. Right?
For a prop for that,
like over 70.
David Montgomery over 67.5. And for passing for both teams, I would take the under on Fields and Mariota. They're both projected for right around 175 passing yards. I would take the under on that. Neither of them throw the ball.
I mean, Fields is responsible for the lowest under ever recorded for a quarterback passing at like 137, which I took, and it hit. We talked about it like in week 3. What's this shit? Do you watch McAfee? What's this shit that they're talking that Fields is on a pitch count? He's 23 years old and like he has breathing issues, and they're making him like they're not letting him run as much. Is this true, or is this just fucking shit that throw out to the media?
I don't know.
Because I don't see any issue with him running. He still fucking puts feet to the ground and runs for a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. But how's Atlanta's defense, though? I thought Atlanta's run defense was pretty okay.
Zach, I follow the Cowboys. I really don't know, but
I'm taking Atlanta -3.
Right. It's in Atlanta, right?
Yep.
I think Atlanta has to win to keep pace with the Buccaneers at this point, because they were leading the division until last week.
I'm taking
Chris is rolling with the Bears.
The Bears.
What's the next game?
All right, I was just looking at the divisional standings. So yeah, you're right with Atlanta. Next game I got is Panthers at Ravens. They're giving the Panthers like 13 points.
Yeah.
Carolina plus 13. I'm taking it.
I like that bet because it's plus 520.
For money line?
Yeah.
I'm not taking money line. You're fucking nuts. You're not nuts.
Throw $5 down on a fucking money line.
You're actually not.
Here's the intriguing part for me. Baker's going to start this game, and they say this is pretty much Baker's last shot staying in the NFL.
He's going to start it concussed. Did you see him fucking headbutting everybody on the sideline with no helmet on?
Yeah, good for him.
He should be in the goddamn tent.
Nah.
It's actually not a bad money line bet. I'm taking plus 13 because it's safe, and it's not my upset of the week. But the Panthers have played pretty well since firing their coach and getting, like, with McCaffrey gone. They've not really missed him too much. Like, they've done pretty well. So what's your take on it, Chris? Because I know
I'll take Baltimore minus 13. Baker Mayfield's a joke. Sam Darnold's a joke. PJ Walker's hurt, and he's the only actual quarterback on that roster.
I agree with you. I just think 13 points is too much points to leave on the table. Anytime I'm betting from like a game, like on paper standpoint, I think the Ravens should walk all over them. But 13 points, just for the value of it, it's good. Cover it. Okay. Just a quick question.
It's in Baltimore, right?
It's in Baltimore. Quick question. I have one of my coworkers who I do fantasy with, Judy. She's probably watching. She wants to know Lamar or Daniel Jones. Who are you starting today? I say Lamar.
Well, the Giants are playing the Lions.
In New York.
In New York.
It's cold here, though.
Lamar's supposed to have some type of illness going on right now. Honestly, that's a toss-up. The Lions' defense is the worst in the league, so Daniel Jones should have a big rushing day.
He's Vanilla Vic, baby. That's what Saquon called him, Vanilla Vic.
Just because you just said that, I'm still taking Lamar.
That's why I said I told her Lamar. Lamar's like, he's projected higher. He's a better quarterback. But yeah, so I don't think there's any major outstanding injuries than that to worry about. All right, next one we got. Oh wait, questionable's Lamar with illness. He's probably going to play though. He'll play. Browns at Bills at Detroit. Bills had that.
Bills. Once you went to the turf and he took the weather away from it, Bills. I do not like that it's in Detroit. I think it should have been played at the Syracuse Dome. And the reason I feel that is because then you're still in New York and it's still kind of a home game. And it's fucking loud in that dome.
Yeah, it's Bills minus 7.5.
How many people are getting out of Buffalo to fly to Detroit?
Oh, they sold like 46,000 tickets in like 4 hours.
No, I get it, but there's a lot of people that are in Michigan and want to see the Bills play. You know what I mean?
The Bills are close enough to Detroit where it's...
Well, it's not that far. Like, it's from there, it's like a 5-hour drive. Like, if you drove it.
Where the fuck are you going to fly out of? It's a 6-foot snowstorm.
6-foot snowstorm. That's why I said if they would have went to Syracuse, same 45,000 seats, but it would be loud as fuck, and it'd be people from that area, Utica, Buffalo, Syracuse, could.
Devin Singletary is 5'7". He's 5'7". They were showing pictures. It's like Josh Allen hands off to Singletary, and it's just snow with the top of a Buffalo Bills helmet, like it's above his fucking head. Yeah. But anyway, Bills minus 7.5.
Bills and turf.
They got to make a statement. Like, they've been playing pretty shitty, losing games they shouldn't lose. So this is like put up or shut up kind of thing. Yeah. They've dropped big times in the power rankings. Every game matters for them right now. Is when
if you're an owner, I'd be pissed, man. You lost a home revenue. Hot dogs, beers. You know, that matters.
The Bills are everything to Orchard Park. They're everything. Like, legit.
Yeah. So, they got 77 inches of snow.
It's like hits and Saugerties.
Bananas, bro.
They could have played.
6.5 feet of snow, basically.
Anyway.
Yeah, I'll take the Bills.
Bills minus 7.5.
I think they covered.
Yeah.
I think they win that game by 10. At least.
Yeah, the Browns aren't going to actually start making any type of effort until Deshaun comes back.
Which is next week.
So
what's their record? What's the Browns' record, Zach?
3-6.
Yeah, no. They're too far gone.
Yeah, they're not making
because he'd have to make he'd have to make a run like right on out.
They're not running the table, but Bills today.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one we got Commanders at Texans.
Commanders. And I hope Heineke goes off just to give. I hate Wentz.
Yep. It's Washington -3. Heineke got the nod for the starting job. I think that alone is enough to be like, okay, I beat the Eagles. They're good. The Packers suck. The Colts sucked. I beat them, but the Eagles are good. Now I got to prove that I can continue to do this. So it's just a big thing on his shoulders. Hopefully the pressure doesn't get to him. Doesn't sound like it will, especially playing fucking the Texans.
Yeah.
The 1-7 and 1 Texans, even if they're in Texas. Even if they're in Texas and they have to play with fucking a 3-legged sack race for all their defenders, I think Commanders win. -3. Next we got do I say this? Yeah, I'm going to say it. Eagles at Colts. Upset of the week. Colts money line.
It's in a dome. You never know. Like the Colts were a quarterback, I think, away from making a real good run last year. They had fucking Wentz, who threw away the last 2 games. Remember his QBR was like -80. He was terrible. So, do they play for this coach and fix it? Like Saturday did the right thing. He went in and said Matt Ryan's the quarterback. Right? Made that change right away. They weren't going to move on from it, right? Like, this is how it's going to be. I don't know. I kind of like that pick. I kind of like the Colts at home here.
Might not be one you want to ride with like last week. +7's definitely the safer bet, but I like the money line. I don't know what the plus is on it. I just like it strictly based off the fact that, well, here's the other thing. The Eagles just picked up Ndamukong Suh, right? Is he going to play?
+245.
The value is not amazing for that. A +500, the Carolina Panther one is more value, I think, and more likely. But this one, just based off of how the Eagles played last week, I almost call them the Redskins. The Commanders just rushed the ball. They rushed the ball and they did it effectively. So Jonathan Taylor
is much better.
Can do that.
Yeah.
So as long as Matt Ryan does not throw interceptions and has ball security, I think the Colts have a shot to go money line, but definitely +7 for me on this one. Not any shade at the Eagles. I definitely, like I said, after everything that transpired with the Commanders game, I got a lot of respect for Eagles and Eagles players. I think Jalen Hurts is phenomenal. Their defense is only getting better, but I just like the Colts at home here. I think they're poised for another upset and to keep rolling with this dreamy-eyed Jeff Saturday onto a 2-0.
Eagles are going to win the game, but they're not going to cover the spread.
All right. I mean, I'll take that. Where are we at next? Let's go to... I'm going to save the Jets-Patriots for last. It's a 1:00 game, but let's do that last and so we can talk about it. Because, I mean, let's do that. We got Rams at Saints.
Rams.
It's Rams +3. So,
Rams.
Yeah, I agree with you. We got Dalton's mustache versus Cooper Kupp.
No, Cooper Kupp's out.
He's out?
Cooper Kupp's out for the year.
Shit. Still Rams +3.
He might come back.
It said out for the year. The thing I saw said out for the year.
Well, anyway, prop bet that I have for this game, Allen Robinson over 4.5 reception yards. Or receptions. He's going to be the focal point of that offense now.
Rams +3. The over-under is 38.5. Do you think it'll go under?
It's going to go over.
You think the Saints are going to score?
The Saints are going to score.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a big day for Kamara. Andy Dalton's not going to be able to get any of the receivers of the ball, so don't expect anything from the passing game. But I think it will be a good day for Kamara, and I think the Saints will have at least one defensive score.
Okay. I still like the Rams +3. Next one is Detroit at New York. The Giants are getting a field goal. Giants -3 is the.
Giants are due for a letdown game though, and this could be it. If they're looking forward to playing Dallas next week on Thanksgiving, this could be a trap game before the divisional game.
Give me the Lions.
Lions +3.
Yeah, I'd even take the Lions money line on that.
Any particular reason? Just because you hate the Giants and Daniel Jones?
Really just stems from my hatred of Daniel Jones. But no, I agree with George. I think this could definitely be an upset game coming from the fact that the Giants have been playing above their head. And honestly, the Lions, they score points. Their offense isn't that bad. They just give up a ton of points, too. If they can keep pace on the scoring aspect and really just make it come down to a shootout, I don't think Daniel Jones is going to be able to actually win them that game.
I saw something, and I wanted to. I know you hate Daniel Jones. I don't want to give the wrong stat, but he hasn't had an interception in like 144.
86 passing attempts. I saw it.
Yeah. He's not as bad as you think. He's Vanilla Vic, baby. and even if he don't run all over him, Saquon is still fucking phenomenal. Like, I know he doesn't have anybody to throw to, and there's still talks with Odell Beckham and where is he going to go. He wants to hold on until Thanksgiving. So if that's the case, that kind of puts him in a shitty spot for the Cowboys because he has to wait another week. That if he makes a decision after Thanksgiving, then he can at least potentially play on Sunday for somewhere. But yeah, I like the Giants -3 just because I like how they are on the ground. It's never anything in the air. Their defense is okay. It's not anything to shake a stick at. But Saquon is he's a game changer for me. And he's on my fantasy team, so I want him to do good. All right. Then we got Raiders at Broncos.
Broncos.
I didn't think the Raiders could get any worse, and they just seem to. I saw a stat. If the Broncos just scored 18 points, just 18, they'd be 8-1 right now. They could just score 18 points a game. They'd be 8-1.
Because their defense is fucking good. Broncos defense is the only thing that keeps them in.
And it's in Denver. You know what I mean? Raiders are coming from a warm climate to fucking freeze their balls off.
You don't think that Derek Carr crying at the podium after the game that people aren't doing enough as him is enough to bolster this team for +2.5 points?
I think Derek Carr gets railroaded by the Raiders organization almost all the time. Like, I think he's one of the guys that keeps fighting, and I think a lot of people give up.
Oh, the Raiders they do everything they can to suck. They support him with a good offensive talent, but that defense is trash. They have 0 people on that defense. They can't stop a nosebleed. They have Devontae Adams, Josh Jacobs, Renfro's on IR, Waller's on IR, and Derek Carr is underwhelming. So that team as a whole is led by Josh McDaniels, who is a terrible head coach, but they're going to be stuck with him for the next 3 years at least because they can't afford to cut him because they're still paying. They're paying him. They're paying Gruden still. They don't have the money to get another head coach in there.
Right.
So the Broncos are going to handle this game, and the Raiders suck.
I think this game has some props for me. I think I got Melvin Gordon's under rushing yards and maybe another one I can look at later, but I don't really care about that shit. My bets have fucking sucked. My bets have sucked so much ass. I lost every single college bet. Georgia sucks dick. Tennessee sucks dick. Like, come on. How the fuck does Tennessee lose?
63 to 30.
To what? Did they play fucking South Carolina School
Yeah.
for Business and Math?
Yeah.
Their mascot's the fucking pocket protectors. It's ridiculous. How did they lose that game?
No, they're the Gamecocks. Get it right.
I know. Well, they gave them the fucking Gamecock 63 times. All right. Cowboys, Vikings. Cowboys are favored -1.5 here at Vikings. Zeke back?
Zeke is playing.
So they'll probably pass the ball all the time and not give a fuck
Yeah,
about
they
the run
won't
game.
run him at all.
I'm going to go Minnesota.
Yeah.
And honestly, this is a tough game. It's going to be a good back and forth game. It really is going to come down to if Dak decides to get rid of the ball and or try to make plays that aren't there.
This is the Dallas Cowboys playoffs are on the line today. The Cowboys lose today. They lose to the Giants next week. And then they're 6-6, right where they've always been for the last fucking 20 years. A fucking 500 team that can never, ever just put the fucking throttle down and win. So today, like I said last week, if they can beat Green Bay, then I'll say they're going to the Super Bowl. And what happened? With a 14-point lead, I bet against the Cowboys. Your dad was laughing his ass off at me. I go, they're going to lose this game. He goes, George, they got a 14-point lead with 12 minutes to go. I go, I'm telling you. And sure and shit, what happened? They lost. I say they win today, which will lead them to beat the Giants and then ultimately get hoof kicked in the nuts because Dak will throw a ball away in the first round. But I'll take them today.
My biggest question for this game, like, why are the Vikings underdogs at home when they're 8-1? What is the thought process there? What's going on in the bookmaking that they know? You want to talk about the NFL may be rigged? Why is that? The Cowboys just lost to the fucking Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers in a goddamn wheelchair who loses to the Commanders.
Who then went
the
out
Jets
and got the shit kicked out of them by the Titans
versus the Titans. And then they fucking have this immaculate game. What is known here? And for that, the fact that they're making an 8-1 team who's playing very good football at home, an underdog, I'm going for the fucking Cowboys, baby. Boom.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I'm riding the Cowboys because this is as much a playoff game for them as can be, but that also shows if they're trailing 14-0 after a quarter and Dak's got 2 picks, it shows exactly where they really will always be with that motherfucker behind center.
Can I ask you a Cowboys fan question? Actually, a football fan question.
Yeah.
What the fuck was Mike McCarthy thinking going into Lambeau dressed like Vince Lombardi, the famed Packers coach who the Super Bowl trophy is named after? You're going into their home dressed like their most famous coach. What do you expect to happen?
I'm actually glad you brought that up. I saw that and immediately wanted to text both of you saying that the Packers were going to win after I saw that last week.
Yeah.
That is something.
It was almost like he threw it. Like it was more like it was the return to the conquering king. Like it wasn't about his team; it was about him.
He had a bad taste in his mouth and wanted to give Green Bay one more win at Lambeau. Like him wearing the fucking Lombardi coat is something akin to the what's the mental coach or whatever for the Yankees, giving them a hype up video showing them losing to the fucking Red Sox in 2004 prior to them going out and getting swept by the Astros.
The optics are garbage.
Yeah.
The thought process is just stupid.
I'm going to tell you this. If the Cowboys have a lead and squander it with dumb play calling on offense again, fire Kellen fucking Moore, please. Everybody thinks he's an offensive genius. I think he's an offensive asshole. Yo, you get Dak back, and you can't, they make the dumbest play calls. You got a 14-point lead, and you're running no huddle and throwing the ball. Put the fucking ball on the ground, grind the clock out. They got to score 3 times to beat you. But no, we're going to go hurry up, and we're going to throw interceptions, and we're going to not take any time off the clock. The guy's a fucking moron. And if Dak Prescott audibles out of it to that, then magically he's going to have a fucking injury because run him over with the fucking medical cart or something. Because you got to have common sense, and they have none. They have absolutely none. And Kellen Moore drives me fucking bananas. And he coaches like he played. You played at a fucking middle of the road Division I FBS school in Boise State, and you had to rely on trickery and dumb shit to compete with big programs. This is the fucking NFL. You don't have to run a double reverse pass to fucking try and get a first down. Run the fucking ball. If you knew you were in 4-down territory last week, you run the ball one of those 2 downs. You don't throw them both downs. You don't think they're going to bring the heat? And Dak Prescott sucks balls. He cannot read where pressure's coming from. If they're bringing the house, somebody's got to be open. You know? Make the cut from, what was it? Wedding Crashers. Hot route. Hot route. I don't know what hot route is. Just fucking run over here. You know? Something. Make a play. So that's why I say I'm rolling with the Cowboys if they stick to the game plan of running the ball. If Dak, I'll put it out there. If Dak throws more than 31 times, the Cowboys lose.
You know, when I was making my decision of who I was going to like after the Redskins were no longer the Redskins, Minnesota Vikings were a top choice for me. And then they got the Redskins quarterback. The only thing that stopped me from liking the Vikings was the fucking yellow on the brim of their hat. Purple and yellow is the ugliest combination. What colorblind fucking idiot chose those 2 colors to go together? Like, I was almost going to buy a Vikings hat, but I was like, nah, I can't do
My
the
buddy
yellow,
Steve
man.
has been a Vikings fan forever, like forever. So to see them being successful, I'm glad for him, but not today.
If they win today, though, I'm definitely on their bandwagon. Like, they got something special going on there. I think the line being the way it is, them being at home, being the fate, like they should be the favored team here.
You should. If you're 8-1 at home, playing a fucking 6-3 team that just came off an awful loss, you should be a favorite.
Yeah.
And not for nothing, it gives them bulletin board material all week. And Highland claimed perfect. Dak has the sensory abilities of Helen Keller with his stuffy nose. It's factual. It's factual. Jesus. So it really boils down to: do you trust them to stick to the script or not? The only thing it's a playoff game here. The only thing I trust have to have it.
The only thing I trust about the Dallas Cowboys is their running game and their defense. Even though their defense played shitty against the Packers, I think their defense is good. But when you don't have
Parsons allows that to happen again.
No.
Not like
when you don't have the ability to control the clock and understand how the game works. It's not all about just running up the score. It's not.
This isn't college where you got 80 guys on the sideline and you can gas everybody out. It's the fucking NFL. You got a 2-touchdown lead. Do you think Bill Parcells ever would have done anything but run the ball? That's why he's a fucking genius. You know what I mean? Yeah. 12 minutes to go in a game, you got a 2-touchdown lead and you lose it. And we're running hurry-up offense. You as a Jet fan, what would you do?
Oh, I'd be losing my mind.
Yeah.
Why?
Why?
It doesn't make any sense to do that.
Right. Yeah, and here's the thing. A lot of people don't understand. Head coaches don't really talk on those radios. Do you know what I'm saying? The coordinators are coordinators for a reason. They're kind of like the administration. They just kind of, yeah, I'm okay with it. Go ahead. Or, hey, we're in 4-down territory, and let them call their plays. But if you don't bring, like, for me personally, if Mike McCarthy or Jerry Jones has to put some heat on some people, right? You got to start turning the flames up. If you don't bring that fucking little punk cocksucker in and say, if you don't run the ball with a 14-point lead with 12 minutes to go in the game, I'm fucking firing you. Like, today. Like,
especially with
you got to hold somebody
running
accountable.
backs. Especially with 2 running backs who are good.
Nothing that Davis kid was running his balls off last week.
Jerry Jones needs to hold Dak accountable along with Kellen Moore.
Yes.
How he's just watching Dak be mediocre year after year.
Right. Hold him
Who
accountable.
cares if he throws for 4,500 yards? Because he threw 30 interceptions.
Yes.
And it was all in garbage time.
And they were getting blown out in every one of them fucking games. Of course you're going to throw for 4,000 yards. I don't care. Your fucking record was 6-10 that year.
You paid him, what, $35 million a year?
Way overpaid him.
To suck?
Yeah. Right. And you're right, Highland. Some coaches do turn off the headsets and hand them to their kid. But those coaches win, Highland. Those coaches win. But
right,
that's it. It's going to come down to Kellen Moore. Can you stick to the game plan, or are you going to be a fucking idiot and try and be cute? Because cute, you're not. Get back to the real Dallas. Run the fucking football. And Zeke coming back, maybe this is it. Because he gets some tough fucking yards, man.
He does. I like Zeke. So, all right. I think we got 3 more games. 4 more if we're going back to Jets. So, Bengals at Steelers.
Bengals.
I'm taking Pittsburgh plus 3.5.
I like the Bengals there. Did anybody happen to see the live mic of Joe Burrow talking to the referee last week?
Mm-mm.
No.
The head referee came over to say hey to Joe or whatever during like a TV timeout. And he's like, I haven't seen you since. And it was like, I think it was the AFC Championship. His helmet cut out in the AFC Championship. He had no signals. He called the entire 2-minute drive for the win. He called every play. Nothing came in from the sidelines. So that goes to show you like what his IQ is. And I like Burrow. As long as he's not on his back, Burrow's has a chance to win.
Yeah, I think, they're the better team, definitely. The Steelers have played like shit, but I just can't discount anytime I see a Steelers emblem and they're playing at home and there's plus points, I just want to take it because Tomlin's just that kind of coach. Just to cover. I don't think they'll win.
He's that type of coach, but he doesn't have the tools to do that anymore.
Yeah,
this is going to be his first losing season as a head coach.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you guys a question. Do you think the Buffalo Bills? Maybe that's not the right team. Do you think Joe Burrow could go into another team and make them better?
Yes.
Like, if you told me I had to trade away Dak and the next 3 years number 1 picks for Joe Burrow, I would do it, and I think I'd win a Super Bowl.
I wouldn't even hesitate. I was just about to say, you put him on the Cowboys, they're a
Super Bowl
team.
Mm-hmm. I think if you put him on the Chiefs or anything like that, you're like, there's certain teams you just put him on the Jets. How much better would they be?
Oh, tremendous! They would actually have a passing game,
right?
Where you're confident in the passing,
right?
Game.
It's certain teams. As long as he has a line in front of him,
put him on the Chiefs. Chiefs are getting a downgraded quarterback.
Yeah,
they're not going to be as good.
No, because Mahomes needs to run around like that.
He has to,
right? And the same thing with the Bills, I feel. But if you put him in a spot like where it's play action and there's a better line, then I think it's a major upgrade.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. He can make the plays on the run.
No,
I'm not saying that he just doesn't run like that.
No, he's not that style quarterback.
Right. Like, I think Josh Allen and Patty Mahomes could switch teams and be equally successful because their offenses rely on them running.
Yes.
I think the difference between those two, though, is when it comes down to it and you have those close to line of scrimmage plays, Josh Allen will run it, whereas Mahomes will look to shovel pass. Mahomes, he'll look like he's running. I know. I'm just saying that's the difference, really. Like, I think in the long run, he's going to end up getting hurt more frequently because he doesn't slide. He runs 4 yards, and Mahomes will chuck it. So he'll give it up. So he'll pull the defense off and use his IQ to be like, I'm just going to dump it over your fucking head. Whereas Allen's like, I'm just going to put my shoulder down and run it into your head. So they're a little bit different style, but I agree with you. I think they both would be successful because they both have decent targets. Yeah. I mean, Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis versus Mecole Hardman and fucking who else is on the Chiefs? Travis fucking Kelce. Like, they both have phenomenal receiver. Kelsey's way better than Dawson Knox, but They're both. Yeah, they would do.
It's like a monsoon out here, bro. Though it's so high winds right now. I'm watching the trees go. What's the next game?
Sunday Night Football. We got the Chiefs at the Chargers. The
Chiefs.
line is -4.5. Taking the Chiefs all day.
Chiefs.
Yes.
Yep. Chiefs.
That game's going to be a shootout because of injuries. The Chiefs are missing 2 starting wide receivers, and I'm pretty positive the Chargers are also still missing Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. So that game's going to be a shootout too.
Chiefs and Chargers. Out is Juju Smith-Schuster, and that's all I have is out for Chiefs. Only one. Yeah, Schuster is better than Valdez-Scantling. They both have those. They both have the 2 dumb last name things, but I'd rather have Valdez-Scantling out. And the Chargers have Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. Yeah, I still like the Chiefs here. All right, and then Monday Night Football is 49ers and the Cardinals playing in Mexico. The line
49ers.
Line is Cardinals +8.
I still like the 49ers.
Yeah, the 49ers are going to win that game. Kyler Murray he's projected to possibly miss that game still, so they're running with Colt McCoy.
What's wrong with him?
Or Trace McSorley, hamstring injury. So Mexico City is
very high altitude.
Very high altitude, and they haven't been training at a high altitude. They're going into Mexico City they either went today or they left yesterday.
Yeah, and isn't Arizona like sea level?
Yes. So they're not even training at an altitude where the Niners have been playing at a high altitude this entire week.
Right.
Training for
it. It's a big difference.
Not to be like an asshole or anything, but the Cardinals
you're going to be one.
I know, but I don't want it to come off as like being a racist or anything like that. But traditionally, people who have like potential to have sickle cell, like African American athletes,
that's a fact. Ryan Clark couldn't play in
don't do well at higher elevations.
No, you know that, right? Ryan Clark, the famous, probably all-pro safety for the Steelers, couldn't play at Mile High Stadium because of that. He almost died.
Yeah,
they had to leave him off. They wouldn't let him play up there.
Yeah, I've taken care of some people with sickle cell crisis, and it's no fucking joke, man.
Yeah,
it's bad, like severe pain. Young kids, athletes can't bend their knees and shit. Like when you have a sickle cell crisis, not saying every black person has sickle cell, but they're more predisposed to it. So I don't know if anybody has the trait or whatever, but if elevation's an issue, but you'd get the same thing at Denver though, Mile High, right? Like if they play at Denver. But anyway,
Bermudez fought in Mexico City, and he trained on top of Hunter Mountain as much, like he ran the mountain all the time, just because of and he went to places and trained at like where they put you in a barrier chamber to make the level change.
Difference,
yeah, because it's different. Your wind is way different up there.
Yeah,
if you're not in shape, you're fucked up there.
D-Hop is also questionable too with a hamstring injury. So you got Murray and Hopkins questionable.
Yeah, I like the Niners there.
I wish I would have looked at the fucking injury report before I took Cardinals +8. I'm letting it ride. Fuck it.
Yeah, fuck it.
Scared money don't win money, right? So I'll just leave it on and hopefully just be the dissenting opinion. So last game we got is another 1:00 game. I did see the text Judy. So her big thing, we talked about Lamar versus Daniel Jones. He's still questionable. It's going to be a game time decision. You're going to have to check at like 12:50 to see if he's actually out there warming up and going to play. 12:30 or whatever when they get on the field. I still think Lamar, even if he's sick, if he starts. But if he's out, you obviously don't play him. You play Jones. If you're still watching this far into me talking about sickle cell anemia and shit. We got Jets Patriots. So this I'm calling our game
of the week.
I'm calling our game of the week. It's a 1:00 game, but this is a big bad blood rivalry, and it's been for a long time, right? Chris is the resident fucking Jets fan.
The Jets Patriots have played in 127 games since the franchises have come into existence. The Patriots have a 72-54-1 winning record.
Probably most of that in the last 20 years.
In the past 13 games that the Jets have played, dating back to 2016 against the Patriots, they have lost. This is the first game that they are winning in New England without question.
You definitely hit your fucking head when you got out of bed this morning.
No, I've been stroking out on this for the past 2 seconds. I could have formulated a sentence there to save my life. But
do you smell burnt toast?
Yeah.
This game it's a rivalry game. And it's probably one of the biggest in the NFL because the Patriots have ran roughshod over the Jets for years and made them look like just incompetent team year after year, which they have been.
Yep.
But nobody wins with a higher margin than the Patriots against the Jets. And after this is going to be the Jets' first win against the Patriots since 2016.
What do you think, Zach?
I agree. I have the Jets -3. So not only do I think they're going to win, I think they're going to win by more than a field goal. I think that this game is going to come down to just defense, both sides of the field. And being so, I think if you are a fantasy owner or if you're looking at props, I would look at both the kickers, Folk and Zerliner, right? I think they're going to be utilized very heavily, and defensive stands are going to stop them from scoring in the red zone. It's going to come down to field goal, and I think the Jets are going to come out on top. I'd prefer a -2.5, but I think they win by a field goal, and then the bet pushes. So that was my thought on it. I don't think there's going to be a lot of touchdown scoring
Rainbow Max is taking shots.
Nice.
unless it's defensive. But I like the Jets here. This is a different team, and this is kind of like when you're at Vegas and you're sitting there at the roulette table, and it's like black, 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 and then finally you get the urge to be like, I'm gonna fucking throw a red bet out there because it's got to be red. Law of averages, when really that's not how the law of averages works. It's a 50-50 or 45 because you got the green.
Sometimes you're just too smart for your own good, Zach.
But anyway, that's what I'm saying. Like Chris saying, it's been since 2015. Like they beat them in 2015, right? So I guess 2006. It was December 27th, 2015 was the last time the Patriots lost. So since December 28th,
you're not at this one. Go Patriots.
15. Who's the Patriots have to change the game though? Like here's what
I'm going to say.
Besides Belichick,
I think Saleh is a good coach, and I think the Jets are trending the right direction, right? What I think Belichick does great is he takes away
plays the Jets
your best weapon, which is going to be your running game. You are going to have to rely on Zach Wilson to win this game today, because I think the Patriots are going to game plan to take away your running game completely. And I don't trust Zach Wilson to win this game. I think Belichick has his numbers still. Your defense will keep you in it, but I think the Patriots, 17-14.
Max just said 17-10 Pats.
I didn't even see that. You know I didn't.
I know. He literally just said that.
Yeah.
It's not happening. The Jets are going into New England, and they are winning in New England.
Listen, I hope the Jets win. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I just feel Belichick is got the number, and he's going to make Zach Wilson win the game.
You're not wrong. And I think after the criticism that Zach has faced over the past, let's face it, 18 games of his NFL career, and this is his 19th game, he wants to prove it.
Yeah.
He wants to prove it. And this is the game to prove that he has at least some capability to be an NFL quarterback. He's going to go into the game. He's going to have one turnover. He's going to have one pick.
First pick six, first play?
No. He's going to have one pick, and it's going to be probably third quarter, and it's going to hurt. That defense, though, is going to step up. And that defense is what's going to win them that game. They're going to shut down Mac Jones. They're going to contain the run of Ramondre Stevenson, and they're going to win.
And what's the score?
27-14 Jets.
Your dad's got 31-14.
Oh, hang on. Oh, yes. Okay. I just got a news in from New York. Sauce Gardner did not blow out his ACL playing basketball, so he will be present for this game, and he will shut the fucking Patriots down. He's going to shut them down.
Yeah, but they're not going to throw on the Jets. They're going to run the ball on the Jets.
Correct, and it's going to come down to their defensive front. The defensive front is going to be able to contain that run. And Mac Jones, I don't care. He is not going to be able to carry that team.
Listen, Dak Prescott, Zach Wilson, they're them two. The Jets have the same exact problem the Cowboys do. You throw the ball when you should be running it. Your quarterbacks look like deers in headlights. They just do. You got a young one, though, who can maybe turn it around. We got a guy that's been around for 7 years. It's, do you trust your quarterback enough to win this big game?
Zach's gonna prove today that he has what it takes to win a big game.
I'm going Patriots 17-14. But I think this, and I'm saying, now this is playoff shit right now.
If the
Jets
win, they're first in the East.
No.
Yes. They're first in the East if they win because they beat the Dolphins and they beat the Bills.
Yeah, but they don't have the same record, right? Because
they all are going to have the same record.
They'll be 7-3. The Dolphins are 7-3. Well, Dolphins are going to play today. No, they're on bye, so they'd be 7-3. Dolphins are on a bye this week. You got Miami, Seattle, Bucks, and Jags on a bye, so they'd be 7-3. Depends on what the Bills do, but even if the Bills win,
right? But if they lose, then it's like the AFC East is all kind of bottled up within one game of each other.
Yeah, the AFC East is crazy if they lose.
Well, it says NFC East. Same fucking thing. Minus the Eagles at 8-1. But the Giants are 7-2, Cowboys are 6-3, and the other team 5-4. They're all right there. What do you got, Zach?
Jets 15-10.
5 field goals?
I'm saying field goal all day. And it sucks that I have fucking Folk and not Zerliner. But I think it's going to be low scoring. I like the under in this game. I don't know what it is.
It's in New England, right?
Yeah.
What's the weather out there? I mean, it's cold here.
Cold.
So.
It's cold. Icicles on the beard cold.
By the way, it's going to be really cold during the Jets.
I think the wind, when I checked last time, the wind's going to be like 10 miles an hour. It's nothing super crazy. It's a little bit
winds
of wind.
Will be 20 to 25 miles an hour with gusts as high as 40 miles an hour.
Well, fuck my...
Out of the west to start the game.
Shit. When I checked earlier in the week, when I made this fucking bet, it was 10.
Of 0% risk of precipitation, but it's going to be a fairly miserable day for fans in the stadium.
I blame
the cold
Buffalo.
Wind will make bundling up necessary.
I blame Buffalo.
Mid-20s with 40 miles an hour gusts.
There goes your kicking game.
Nope.
Well, there goes any passing game, too.
So who's going to be able to outrun who? That's what it's going to come down to.
Who?
The Jets are going to outrun the Patriots.
With who they got? Michael Carter and who else? They have a
Michael
second
Carter,
back?
James Robinson.
Yeah. It changes my score, but doesn't change the fact that I still think the Jets are going to win -3. I'm betting red when it's hit black 15 times in a row. Double green, baby.
I bet Jets money line on this game.
I'll take the Patriots. And this is what I think. I honestly feel it's going to be a game that Zach Wilson brings you right back down into. It's going to be a critical game for his development, but he just doesn't get it done today.
You're talking about last year, Max. This is 2022.
Listen, he does not get referred to as Max. It's Rainbow Max. That's just how it is. That's Rainbow Max.
You know, the Cowboys...
He's a heat seeker.
Not for nothing, the Cowboys won the Super Bowl in 93 and 94, so they should win today too, right?
Max is just trying to piss me off now because he sucks off Mac Jones.
No. Doesn't he really have a thing for Danny Amendola?
Yeah, they're best friends.
Yeah.
I don't know, but if you shave that beard and put some makeup on, you might be a MILF and Zach Wilson might go after you. Land yourself a Jets. Speaking of which, what's Giselle doing nowadays? Zach Wilson?
Yeah. Well, she falls into his category now.
She does.
So that's it. I'm riding the Patriots. You guys got the Jets. Me and Rainbow Max have the Patriots.
So who's your upset of the week? You're taking Carolina?
I'm not. I'm not taking Carolina. I just think that's a good bet. I think that's a good bet. Plus 500. Like you throw $5 out on a plus 500 bet, you're going to win 25. Why not? My upset of the week will be. I like the Colts.
Oh shit! It's the Jets plus 3.5, not minus 3.5. They're not favored. Plus 3.5. Jets all day, baby. He's taking money line. I'm going to win because it's going to be a field goal.
I'm going to go. My upset of the week is the Colts.
I say Colts and Jets are the most likely for me. Jets more
What's your
so than the
upset?
Colts, but I like the Colts. I like the direction the Colts are going in. Being in Indiana myself, I want to root for them. I'm not an AFC fan, so I will never wear Colts gear. But I like Jonathan Taylor. He's on my fantasy team, and Jeff Saturday and those eyes call me, baby. These eyes, oh, they're crying. These eyes are never gonna be. You're Jimmy's little brother, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
no, that wasn't bad. Oh, well, let's get into it though. Can you get up the Thanksgiving games?
Yeah.
Highland, I'm riding with that. I took the Carolina and Baker money line just because it's plus 500 something.
Oh, Baker's
but
trash.
But Thanksgiving games, we're not going to be back together before Thanksgiving
because he likes to donate his money to the mentally challenged. Like he headbutted the entire fucking team with no helmet.
Who cares?
I do. He's gonna go play a game.
Yes, try to make some better. He's numb. He's good and numb before this game.
Bills, Lions, Giants, Cowboys.
Oh, they're going to stay. It's Bills at Lions. That's why they're playing in Detroit. And they're going to stay in fucking Detroit.
And the Bills are going to win 2 weeks in a row at Detroit because do you really fucking think Detroit can win 3 games in a row? Is that the team?
It'd be 4, right? Because they won 2 now. If they beat the Giants, it's 3.
I'm saying this week. You think they're going to win 3 in a row with the fucking team they have? That's why I'm all Giants. But anyway, Bills, Lions, Giants, Cowboys, Patriots, Vikings. That's it. No Bears?
No, it's always Lions and Cowboys.
Lions. It's Lions.
And here's the thing. I'm rolling with the Bills. I think the Cowboys depends on what happens this week. And what's the last game?
Patriots, Vikings.
And I'll take the Vikings.
I'll take the
Vikings, Cowboys, and what was the first one?
Bills.
Bills.
I don't know what the spreads are. We're just talking money line.
I don't care about spreads. I'm just going. I ultimately think the Cowboys' season rides on this game. If Dak throws more than 31 times, Cowboys lose. The wheels fall off the bus. I have to listen to fucking scumbag Giant fans' mouths on Thursday. But on the flip side, if they win today, maybe we could shut some Giant fans up on Thursday.
Who is Highland's favorite team this year? I think he likes the Gamecocks now.
Yeah.
What team has the brightest colored jersey? Because that's the team he's going to root for.
Seahawks.
Yeah, if there's any team colored salmon or like Dayglow orange, like he's a Syracuse fan right now.
He claims to be a Jet fan, but he's been riding the Browns for the past 5 years.
Yeah.
I'd say he'd fit in with the Seahawks because they have that fucking hideous lime green.
No, that was
Max.
Rainbow Max. He liked that team.
That's Max. Max is the Seahawks Patriots fan.
Yeah, every year. No, Max is a true front runner. He was Seahawks, then they lose, then Patriots.
No, Max has always been Seahawks, but he for some reason loves Mac Jones.
Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of what week are we in? 11?
11.
Yep.
I think this is the crucial week that sets up the rest of the season.
Yeah, definitely the next 2.
Yeah. I think this sets up the playoff runs. And Farrar is 100% right. If the Bucs went back to the old creamsicle jerseys, Highland would be 100% because he loves them fucking wild colors.
He wouldn't even hesitate.
Yep. Your brother, Rainbow Max, just trying to get heat. I would say Odell goes to Minnesota.
I would say I don't care where he goes.
I hope it's not Dallas, but I think it's going to be Minnesota.
It doesn't even matter.
And if I'm a Giants fan, I hope it's not New York. Because they need a number one receiver, not a possession guy. They need somebody that they're going to roll coverage to.
It doesn't matter. Odell's 30 years old, coming off his second knee injury. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I feel flat today. I feel like this week's schedule is just fucking... It's like I left my soda outside, like on the kitchen counter overnight and took a sip. I don't know what to do. Like, college completely destroyed my wallet. Today, I'm not confident in any NFL games.
Yo, how about Michigan barely holding on yesterday? Like 19
in the poorhouse for Thanksgiving
or some shit.
Notre Dame stomped Boston College in the snowstorm.
Yeah. Here's one though. Is it next? Yeah, it's next week. We won't talk about it. Let's talk about this game. Michigan, Ohio State facing each other, both 11-0. And I think it's in Ohio State. It's at the Horseshoe.
Ohio State should win that game.
I disagree. I think. Well, I want to see if Michigan's running back is. He got dinged in the first half. If he's healthy, I say Michigan because they got the best running back in the country. But he went out with a knee injury in the first half yesterday.
I don't see him playing this upcoming week.
They won't rule him out because it's sore. It's all structurally good. It's just sore. They make shots for that shit. This is one of them big games. Well, he's sitting back there. This is probably the biggest rivalry in sports minus Yankees.
I fucking know. I live in the middle of it. Indiana, where I live in Northeast Indiana, is more Michigan versus Ohio State than any other Indiana team. We have a couple like of the sparse Catholics because we're Lutheran out here, so it's a whole bunch of German stock. The Catholics that exist right here love Notre Dame.
In the history,
but seriously, no. German food's great. Oktoberfest is awesome if you ever want to come visit. Schnitzel, fucking all that shit. But it's Michigan, Ohio State. They're equidistant from where we are. Like we're at the fucking right angle of them. So most of the fans, it's a huge rivalry. But I know nothing about it because I will never ever.
Well, Michigan finally won last year after years and in a snowstorm. So, like, you know what I mean? It's got that kind of level to it. These are two teams that are going to play, and college football playoffs is majorly on the table for both.
Who is Ohio State's coach? Because Michigan's got Harbaugh, right?
Yeah, Ohio State's coach looks like a pedo.
I don't know his name.
I don't know it either. He's got dark hair and a black beard. He looks kind of like a pedo.
Like fucking Joe Paterno's boy over there in Penn State.
Yeah.
Michigan has the cooler.
I'm gonna go Michigan though.
They have the cooler uniforms. I'll go Michigan.
I'm going Ohio State.
Yeah, it's one of them. It's gonna be a battle. Ohio State, they both had a scare yesterday, so we'll see. We'll see, but that's a big game. Like a lot of people got to understand, that's a really big. I don't know that they both ever been 11-0 in the last decade and faced each other at the end of the year.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great game.
Yeah, great game, and it's at Ohio State this year. So, like I said, I think the only rivalry bigger is Yankees Red Sox. Zach is flat today. He's just standing around.
I don't know what the fuck to say. Like I seriously like I can't get into the college talk because one, I don't have a team that I like. Two,
like all the teams when you go to college. Yeah, you have to go for the win in college. That's why I like college football. You can't play it safe and kick a field goal. Because if you don't win, you don't get to the fucking Final Four. You know what I mean? You have to go for the win.
You play to win the game. Yeah, but I fucking like the only team I've rode with all year is the TCU fucking Horned Frogs, and they won again yesterday.
Walk-off field goal yesterday.
They won by 1 point yesterday, and my fucking dumb ass Didn't bet them because I'm like, I don't know anything about college. I'm gonna follow these experts, these cappers. This is why you should never listen to us. Listen to us for the entertainment. Don't take betting advice. My Commander's call was fucking dumb. It was just a feeling. If you bet on that and you won money, congratulations. But don't ever listen to anybody about fucking Jimmy the Greek was full of shit. He's so full of shit. This whole thing is full of shit. It's all fake. It's fixed. Listen to us for the entertainment. Because you're just going to lose your fucking money if you follow people on the goddamn internet.
I don't know, man. Well,
I'm mad.
Vegas really knows their numbers, right?
House never loses.
No.
Unless you're the Raiders. That's the only place, Vegas, where the house loses all the time. Because you got a fucking jalopy of a quarterback.
Mm-hmm. No, I disagree. I think Carr is a good quarterback. I think he's got shit. I think he's got a bunch of guys that quitters in that locker room that just give up.
The quitters are the ownership of that team.
You ready for this? See that red dot?
Yeah.
Loss.
That's a lot. That's a lot of L's, bro.
Yeah, look at that parlay. Every leg. It was a full fade. Loss.
Yeah, fade Zach.
Cash out. I cashed out because scared money. That bet probably would have won. Cash out.
No, Rob makes a valid point. Bring back Gruden. He got fucked there.
You can't. You can't.
No, the NFL won't let him.
He's canceled.
I know. I wish he outed Goodell. Well,
you know who was a great producer?
Scumbag that orchestrated that whole deal.
You should bring back Harvey Weinstein while we're at it too. Great movies, terrible human, but what a fantastic movie.
He held up his end of the bargain. Hey, you fucked me, I put you in a movie.
That's how Hollywood works.
Jennifer Lawrence became a superstar, so I mean, he did what he said he was going to do.
God, I hate humanity. I really just I'm not in a good place right now. I'm going to be checking into the fucking inpatient unit here shortly if these bets don't go today. It's nothing.
Bet responsibly.
Yes, here's my thing. Here's what I can't break my mind from doing. And I don't know if because you guys talk all the time. You and Highland talk all the time about how you fucking hate lotto players. So I don't like to lose. Like when I go to the casino and I lose my money that I work for, fucking hate it. I know it's gambling. That's what you don't bet money you aren't okay with parting with. I can't get in my fucking head that me spending $20 a day on scratchers at the gas station equals $100 for a 5-day work week, but yet I will fucking pull my hair out losing a $5 bet on the Jets. What is wrong with that? Because sports are involved, and I'm like just conditioned to if you ain't first, you're last, baby. Like I grew up in Ricky Bobby.
Have you ever watched video of somebody going through the emotional fucking roller coaster of a bet?
Yeah.
It's brutal. I would not want to do that to my body every week. Like, you know, like Portnoy and them guys, they're up, they're screaming at the TV, they're down. Are you fucking kidding me? You know,
they're betting 25 grand per bet. When you're betting 25 grand per bet, I mean, like the best bet is to buy stock in fucking Pepto-Bismol and Alka-Seltzer at that point. Maybe some omeprazole or Pepsid from the ulcers. But yeah, it's still fun to talk about the games, but this week is just very flat for me. And the games just don't excite me because the team I like, I'm expecting to lose. Like they're just not, I don't know.
Listen, when you have an honest conversation about how you feel about your team, you know, that's the thing is too many people have these like real crazy, it's called fandom for a reason, right? You're a fanatic, right? Mm-hmm. So you have these really wild fucking thoughts about your team that you really care about. And teams that you hate. You know what I mean? Like I've seen teams, fans smash their court, you know, like they're certain players. And I'm like, if you didn't have that player, you guys would be fucking awful. You know what I mean? Like, but you get in this mode. Or people like Highland who think Baker is the fucking second coming of Joe Namath and start backing the Browns. That's what fanatics are. You know what I mean? But if you have real conversations about your team, people, I don't know, like you go on boards, right? You go on Jets boards or whatever, Yankees boards, whatever they are, right? You get people that lose
Twitter
their
mostly.
fucking mind when you make a valid point.
Yeah.
You can be like, Garrett Cole gets shelled way too much to be an ace. Are you kidding me? He's a strikeout leader. Yeah, okay. He's still like 16-9. Show me another ace that has 9 losses. But people lose their mind when you sit them like straight facts.
I just had an epiphany with your thought there. So I think a lot of people have some sort of tie to their favorite team based on some experience. Some experience they had either as a child or with a loved one. And it's very akin to...
Oh, he's got a Panthers hat on today.
Yeah, dick. So it's something... I'm trying to make a point here, Highland, you fuckstick. It's something akin to like what they call chasing the dragon with addiction.
Being here, you guys are still on.
I feel like when you have a team that you love, it's an experience you had with your dad when you went to the ballpark, or with your grandpa when you went to the field, that you're chasing all the time, and you have this love and devotion, this fanaticism towards a team, very similar to like somebody who gets addicted to drugs and alcohol. You have this one good time where you experience this euphoria, and you're constantly chasing that. It's like a fucking addiction, and it's terrible for your goddamn stomach when you love the Jets or the fucking Cowboys and they lose to teams they should beat.
Yeah.
I feel like I've gone on a meth bender.
You're not wrong. I hit for 4 something during the Super Bowl last year. I've been chasing that ever since.
Well, yeah. Have you ever heard about Joe Rogan when he talks about the first time?
I hit for $1 a pound, Zach. $1 a pound. And I've been chasing that ever since.
What did Joe Rogan say? He said a lot of shit.
No, the first time he ever came, like he got a blowjob and he came, my fucking ears were ringing. I couldn't hear shit. He goes, and I've chased that the rest of my life.
He sucked that many dicks since then?
Are you an idiot?
Yes.
All right, so since Highland's here, I know we're fucking, we're done talking about football. If you motherfuckers bring up Flat Earth one more time, I'm done. Who in your life that you work with that fucking breathes air through probably their mouth?
Him right here.
No, we're not flat earthers.
Oh no.
I'm saying who do you deal with that brings up these things? Like, I feel like every time, all I can think about is Eddie Bravo being like, I do this research and I just look into it. I watch these YouTube videos.
Listen, it's not just people we work with. That's the idiot. Like, they want to have a counterpoint to everything.
Who's the guy with the crazy hair meme?
Ian Hatzalakos. He's the aliens guy. Yeah, Ian Hatzalakos. The aliens guy. Not Ian, but it's Hatzalakos. George Hatzalakos. Ian is the guy who runs World of Warcraft.
So last week you missed the point a little bit. We were talking about, we had valid questions to ask these fucking flat earth people. Like, how's weather work then? And if it's an Arctic shelf all the way around the outside of the flat disc, why isn't Australia always cold? Right?
No, I get that. I wasn't saying you guys are flat earthers, but by opening that door and presenting a forum for it, you're presenting people to spout bullshit. And that's the reason the internet sucks right now, is because there's no peer review. Everybody has a fucking say. And a lot of people are fucking dumb.
Yeah, they are.
They're stupid. Here's the thing, and I don't know if I've told you this. I'm not the most smart person in the world. But listen, so we have a lot of fucking Playboy billionaires now who have dick rockets that they send up all the time, right? You got Elon Musk, fucking Jeff Bezos in their dick rockets that go up into space. They don't go to the moon, whatever. We just had the Artemis, whatever, go to the moon, an unmanned thing. So this is it. You find you're flat earthers. This is totally off topic.
Movie a lot in Hollywood, by the way. None of that fucking exists.
Yeah, they all think the moon landing was all.
Then that's fine. You get your best fucking 3 people. Who has the best the fucking video on YouTube? Get all them fuckers. Oh, my chair's coming apart. Get them.
I was wondering what happened to your finger.
Go to Cape Canaveral, get in the fucking rocket, and go into space. And then we have the capability to live stream from space. We had it in the fucking 60s. The 60s, they took videos from space. You go there on Twitch and be like, hi, I'm Johnny Knoxville, and the Earth is round. And when you admit that, you get fired out and jettisoned into space. And we watch you as your fucking body implodes.
Yo, how could they live stream? How could they live stream in the 60s, but I still have no fucking cell service in Woodstock?
Monopolies.
All right.
I don't know. They did it with radio waves. They were talking like 7 or 8 minutes apart. It wasn't like a live stream, but they were recording and sending video via radio waves, which is like how a lot of our shit communicates. It's just gotten better and faster as satellites improve and things go on. So, yeah,
so what you're saying, Zach, is after they're proven wrong, you just fucking eject them out into space to just turn into
if they're right and the fucking if they're correct and the Earth is flat and the Illuminati is exposed and all the round Earth shills and the globers are fucking wrong, then we will bow to their fucking ever-flowing wisdom and be like, oh, you're right. You know, this fucking, when we didn't sail off the fucking Earth in 1492, when we came across, they just didn't go far enough. They didn't make it to the shelf. I told you this. I sent you the message the first time you brought it up. Let me look it up real quick. So, Aristarchus. Ready? Aristarchus. Someone needs to fucking... No one... Apparently, you didn't have enough teachers.
Starfish?
No. Yes. A Greek astronomer Aristarchus. Apparently, enough of you didn't have teachers in fucking junior high and elementary school who were sick, so you got to watch fucking Nova and videos of Carl Sagan just dropping science on y'all, but instead you were fucking looking at slides of fucking dicks and shit. So Aristarchus was Aristarchus of Samos. He lived from 310 to 230 BCE. That's before Jesus. That, in case you're wondering, people in the Midwest, before Jesus. He lived then, and he discovered, based upon shadows and measurements of shadows, that there was a curvature of the Earth.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes. Before the internet.
The shadows were different lengths at different times of the day.
Yes, before the internet, before
at
all
the same time of the day from different points.
Right.
No, I know, Zach. This is where our conversation was. Is like,
I know. I just hate
these people that say this dumb shit. Like, then how does weather work? Right. That was the point.
The other thing that's been proven is Jesus Christ can't help with the curveball.
Right, that's been proven. You trying to say Jesus Christ can't hit a curveball?
But I mean, so like this is how misinformation like gets spread. Like people talk about it and open the forum. I was talking to my wife the other day. It was probably like week 7. And I had some fucking thought in my head that Larry Fitzgerald was a neurosurgeon. I don't know why. Motherfucker graduated from the University of Phoenix as like a business major. I remember somebody saying he had the hands of a neurosurgeon and he was in college. And that to me thought he's going to school to be a neurosurgeon. And I perpetuated that for years until I looked that shit up when I was trying to tell her. I'm like, wait, no. Let me walk that back. I was way off. He knows how to make an LLC, not how to cut a fucking ganglion neuron. Yeah, but
Highland's falling asleep already. He's gassed.
No. That's okay. Zach woke up finally. So
I know, Zach. It took him an hour 58 minutes to get awake.
Just got to talk about flat Earth next week to start us off.
Yeah,
next week.
So here's the path of the NFL, and here is where we are now, like way out of frame.
Yes.
But the shit, like, so because before you guys had your podcast and things like that, I watched a lot of Joe Rogan, and Eddie Bravo is one of the most out there people I've ever seen in my life, who takes everything that's, the fact that you be like, but NASA can make this shit up. NASA can make it up. Like they're not pictures. So is the fucking dude on YouTube. He's making this shit up. Except he didn't get a fucking astrophysics degree at MIT. He dropped out and cooked meth in the back of his fucking van in the Midwest. and got an internet signal from.
Regardless.
He's using Burger King's Wi-Fi to send this shit saying Wi-Fi isn't real.
Oh, that's a valid point.
He's still a scientist, though. He's in a lab making stuff.
Any second grader who fucking plays with Play-Doh is a scientist.
That's fair.
Scientific method knows no fucking thing, like no age. It's really like you need peer review. You need people to replicate it.
Yeah. Yep.
And Flat Earth just drives me fucking nuts. I'd fucking.
What else can we get Zach all fired up about next week?
This is the in between segment between the Edge and the Blitz, where it's like, you know what really grinds my gears?
On the next Outlaws Edge, Jesus is black.
Yeah,
he's definitely brown if he existed.
He is brown. Oh, bronze color.
Unless the Mormons are right. Unless the Mormons are right and the Garden of Eden is, in fact, in Utah. Then he could be one. But wouldn't he be Native American? Like, most of the people here before them were brown, too. Like, I don't know. Space Jesus.
Yeah.
Space Jesus.
Well, that's going to be the new one. Space Jesus.
That's what it is.
Took out all of sororities and they never saw the moon landing. True story.
True story. Yeah. You know that, right, Zach?
What?
Matt Russell's dad fucking smashed his truck into some major pole and knocked out the fucking cable for all of sororities. They never saw the moon landing.
Oh, isn't his name Artie? Wasn't his dad Art?
Yeah.
He was a good dude. He's a good dude.
Still is. What else? You got any other rants? Or are we good?
I don't know. What are you talking about today? What's on the fucking docket today?
Top 5 things we're thankful for because it'll air on Thanksgiving. Rabbit holes, things we've been talking about or watching all week. We got a new segment called Odd 3 odd things. This
Do you have your notes? Do you have your notes from last week?
Yeah. New segment 3 odd 3. It's called. It's the 3 odd things
it's like
that you
one
find.
of these things.
This week it's in your car. Like people have some weird shits in their car, like trunk or glove box or something. What do you want for my notes last?
I'm trying to think of what else made me angry. There was something earlier on that I was like, "What the fuck?"
Top 5 podcasts.
No,
Chris has been summoned back home. He's given up the big chair to his dad.
I have plans.
Yeah.
I like plants.
We'll see Chris next week. I can't see where that is, but so
it's okay. He's not going to sit in frame anyway.
No, he doesn't. Oh man, you knocked the fucking sign down.
And
well, come on, Winnie. Can he please hit you with the candlestick before he goes?
Christmas.
That
What
way.
do you do for Christmas?
You gotta go more. What are you doing? It's gotta come more. The end's gotta be over the. All right, that's gonna fall.
Just let him struggle. It's okay.
It's gonna be funny to watch him struggle. What? So it was top 5 podcasts we listened to.
That was good.
And 5 crazy questions, stately definitions, and all
that was when you made Highland cry, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's because Chris is a dick. A raging boner.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, no one can hear you.
Shut up.
Yeah, I don't know, bud. I don't know. Oh no, you're mad because our over under, the way I present an over under isn't the way I present on the here.
No, that was just me busting your balls. Like I was saying, your fucking analysis, you were more awake when you do the Blitz podcast. Like when we have a early one, you're half asleep, and I don't like being in the driver's seat. I don't like listening to my voice, and I want to have like a conversation.
Listeners of the Edge would totally say that's not true.
Yeah.
You do lead the conversations, and your voice is melodic, so it's fine.
No, I know I do, but I don't want to. Like
I think it flows because you take it on such an emotional roller coaster.
Holy fuck, bro.
Yeah.
We've been at the top of the fucking Himalayan mountains today and all the way down in Death Valley.
I put chuckle fuck into my vocabulary now.
Yeah.
I've used it 3 times since last week's show, so I can use it now.
See, you're a trendsetter.
Yeah. I don't know, man. If you want to end this, you can end the stream.
No, you can end it, and then if you want to stay on, we're going to start the podcast here in a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can just mute my mic and minimize me out and just listen and watch.
Or you can be part of it.
I don't have any what? Yeah, sure.
You'll be on the video part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The audio part, I can't tell you.
I'm going to change my name though.
Yeah, that's fine. So, Outlaws Edge is ending.
Could he though? If he calls in and we plug him in the board and he stays active on his camera, so he has his phone and his.
Yeah, he can.
You can, so you can be on audio too. You're just gonna have to dial in as well.
But will I sound like a fucking idiot?
No. If you call on the phone, you'll be fine.
Okay. I might have to leave and come back. Is it the same link?
Same exact link.
Yeah, because I don't know how to change my name from. I could probably go to settings.
No, you just go up to the thing and hit edit name. The 3 dots over your. Anyway, Outlaws Edge is ending. We'll be back with Outlaw Blitz. That'll be on Thursday. We'll go live during Thanksgiving. Zach will be on that show as well as he just shit himself.
I love it.
And we'll wrap up this week's games and the Thanksgiving games, and we'll see who's right on the Jets-Patriot war that we got going on here. All right, so as far as the Outlaws Edge is done, we'll see you next week. Outlaw Blitz is next.